to another World Pack Talk Show. My name is Lilian Benzi, and I am WPO Press and Communication Officer. And today I have the pleasure of hosting to this interview Nathan McKee, Sustainability Analyst at Triac, a WPO corporate partner. And just to have an idea of the insights we are about to hear today, Triac defines itself as a company that makes the complex simple. And how does they do this? Offering the market independent and science-based software platforms that make sustainability reachable. But to understand better what does it mean to the packaging industry, I would like to hear from the source. So I welcome Nathan McKee from Triac.
Thank you, Lilian. We're so excited to be here working with the WPO as a new corporate partner. And especially since the WPO is a really important part of the packaging industry and has always been a champion of sustainability. And that's what we're all about, sustainability and bringing in that environmental impact and those data-driven approaches into the packaging industry. So we're really excited to be here, especially as there's more and more regulations and initiatives happening nearly every day in our field. So it's an exciting time and the perfect time to continue this discourse.
Well, that's great. And so Nathan, let's go to the reality. What kind of softwares Triac offers and how they can be used by the packaging industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So Triac really is a full service sustainability and consulting company because each day we work with different companies around the globe to help them reach their sustainability goals. Any company that generates packaging, we can work with them. And so we help them understand their environmental impacts by using life cycle assessment. And I'll also just mention what that is a little bit later. But that software that you're alluding to, what we're most proud of is the software that we provide. It's called Eco Impact Compass. And that's our screening life cycle assessment solution. And so that allows companies to understand their environmental impact, to set sustainability goals, to design packaging alternatives that reduce their impact, to use different sustainability strategies, and then to track that progress over time, and then do all of that important reporting that's being more and more common today. Whether that's reporting to their own, corporate social responsibility reports, or maybe reporting in some framework like through the SDGs or ESG. There's more and more reporting. So that's what we do. We offer Eco Impact Compass, and that's really become the foremost screening LCA for products and packaging. And I also want to mention that we've been around since about 2006, and from the very start, Eco Impact Compass was designed with a multifaceted audience in mind. So while some companies they focus only on the most technical, complex, it might only be for LCA professionals. Well, we design our software so that it's easy to use for anyone. And that means packaging engineers, designers, people in sales or marketing, even educators that use our software in universities to teach the next generation of packaging and sustainability professionals. So I know there's a lot to it, but it really is quite versatile.
Yeah, and you mentioned that many companies are already using the solutions you offer. My question is how the packaging industries are responding to the solution. Are they ready for this to use all the solutions?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. And I think first and foremost, the industry is absolutely ready. And I'll delve into what that means. Is our solution and Eco Impact Compass, but really life cycle assessment in general, the whole point of that is to use a reliable, internationally recognized method, LCA, using data to find environmental impact. And so LCA has actually been around for many decades, but it is becoming more and more popular, especially in the packaging industry. So without that data-driven approach, companies, most of the time they use just back of the napkin calculations or, informal calculations. Maybe they have created an entire spreadsheet to do that. But that type of process is very difficult. It's prone to errors, and at the end of the day, it's just not reliable. So more and more companies are going into this data-driven approach. That way that they have the confidence to know that they're going in the right direction. Because if you can imagine, more and more often companies are creating these, well, very amazing externally facing sustainability goals. So they describe these goals and then they start to track their progress, and they're sharing that information with their stakeholders. And you might be talking about multinational companies. There's a lot of money invested in such an effort. And so, using a software and bringing in that data is more and more important. And I'd like to I can also go into further what obstacles companies face and how they're solving those solutions. So.
And exactly, this is my next question. What are the main drivers for innovation? So what is next? What TRIAC is already thinking, how to be more innovative with the Eco Impact solutions?
Absolutely. Well, I'll touch first on some of those obstacles that we're seeing. So when you ask, is the industry ready? I think they absolutely are, because you need that data-driven solution. But oftentimes the biggest obstacle is gathering that data in the first place. So I'm sure many of our audience members, they're working in sustainability, they're working in packaging and manufacturing. And oftentimes the data, meaning what are all of their materials made out of? What are all the manufacturing processes? Information about their supply chain. How do they bring in the packaging or the materials? How do they ship it out? What are all those data points? Depending on the organization, it may be easy or very difficult to pull all that information together. Now we see more and more companies moving toward kind of spec management systems, where they roll up all of their data, product data, and put it into one place. But oftentimes, that'll be the main obstacle. So how they get that data. So once they do have that data, however, so once they do put in that effort to bring that data together, that's where so many insights can be found. So to start with life cycle assessment, you can start to find the impact of your products and packaging. That way you can understand the environmental impacts of your entire brand or company and start doing that annual reporting. You can also make those design alternatives and implement different sustainability strategies. So all of that is to say that once you get the data, you can start to find those insights. Now, we work collaboratively with our clients in a really big way. And what I mean by that is our clients are really the main driver of how we innovate. Now, of course, each day we come to work and we try and innovate. And as a software company, we have to stay competitive. especially as so many things on the outside are changing each day. But each client that we work with asks us different things and has different requirements. They want to do reporting in different ways, right? And so it's our relationship with our clients that helps us innovate. So just recently, for example, we've implemented a new feature, which is related to refill and reuse. So I know that circularity, for example, is such an important topic. And two main strategies to get more circular is to either have refill or reuse. So refill, you can think of a customer purchases some container, and then they purchase maybe bulk items to refill, right? So at home, they'll use a soap dispenser, for example. They'll use it, it'll become empty, and they'll keep refilling it with some bigger container, right? There's also reuse. And what we consider reuse is when a company sells a product and then they actually collect the packaging, right? They bring it back to their own manufacturers and then refill it themselves, then send it back out. Here in the United States, we have, there's an amazing company, it's called Loop, and they're starting to really make big strides in this new logistical sphere. You know, it's funny, a lot of companies, even the biggest companies, they have really complex and integrated systems of logistics to send things out. That's what they do every day. They send trucks, dozens, hundreds, thousands of trucks out, but they don't often bring things back, right? And the manufacturing processes aren't set up most of the time to do these reuse scenarios. So it's really quite interesting. And we've just recently implemented this new functionality to where a company can more easily model that scenario before they do it and take into consideration the transportation. You know, what's the transportation impact of bringing it back? Oftentimes when you're doing reuse, you have to invest in making it more sturdy for the long run. So that creates impact as well. And then there's a break-even point there. Washing cycle to disinfect and then reuse the same container. There's a lot of complexity there. And so all of that, you know, was driven by some of our clients and was driven, well, by this collaboration. So that's something that we did just recently. But into the future, there's all sorts of things that we want to do here at TRIAC because we'd like to grow our sustainability services into a platform. And really, that's what we call Eco Impact. That's the platform, and Compass is our LCA solution related to that. But we'd like to help companies through all of this new regulation. There's recommendations to be had, you know, depending on the material that you use, the packaging type, is it flexible? Is it rigid? Is it a composite? Is it made out of multi-materials or one material? All of these things, you know, we can help give recommendations. Also related to EPR, EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. You know, there's actual financial incentives or fees associated with some of these processes. So really all of that can be combined into one space, and we'd like to get there and to do that for our clients.
Sure. And you talked a lot about collaboration, so information. My last question now is how WPO, how this partnership, TRIAC, WPO, can help with this, in this collaboration, because what does it mean to TRIAC to be part of this global packaging community as a WPO corporate partner?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think oftentimes we join on different conversations in the beginning of a relationship. And we too, TRIAC, we're at the beginning of our relationship with WPO and the members. And so we'd love to grow that and to build those relationships with the other members and participate in the discourse. I know there's the amazing WPO awards that they do on the most innovative companies. And we were amazed at last year's and this year's winners that we're starting to see. And so there's just, I think, a lot to do together, especially since the WPO has become a standard organization in the middle of all of this, and that brings together many nations. So it's really amazing, and I love to meet and speak with people all over the globe. We can learn a lot from each other, so I hope that we can do that more.
Yeah, no doubt about it. WPO is really a hub of innovation, of relationship. And Nathan, if you could leave the audience a final message, a message to inspire all about this sustainability, this tool, what is your final message, Nathan?
Well, I'm glad you used the word inspire. Now, I may not be, I may not always have the right words, but I did want to leave our audience with a sort of message of inspiration and encouragement. Because, today we've spoken about a lot of different topics: life cycle assessment, these different regulations, sustainability, sustainable strategies to use in packaging, data-driven approaches. We've covered a lot of different topics briefly, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same mission. We're all trying to get to the same place. Whether your main concern is climate change or marine pollution or whatever, or getting away from plastic, there's a lot of big issues in the world that we're all trying to face. So I'd love to remind our audience to try and stay inspired and to encourage you to continue on your path, to start the path, to continue on it, or to push yourself to the next level, depending on where you are. Because we always remind our clients that sustainability is often measured in years. It's not something that you finish, and it's not something that is easy. And so luckily, though, we have the ability to speak with our colleagues and make relationships, friendships. So I just like to encourage everyone listening to keep on the sustainability journey. And we're all going to the same place. So, and that's very lucky. Wow, that's really inspiring. So to resume our interview today we explored a really innovative way, an inspiring way of dealing with sustainability, embracing this digital world, these digital solutions with tools to monitor and to measure the results of sustainable actions is really disruptive. But we are not talking about the future. We are talking about now. We are talking about the present. We are talking about reality and a new and powerful way of turning the packaging industry more sustainable. So it is very clear that the digital journey is not an option. It is a reality in all areas of the packaging industry, including sustainability. So sustainable packaging is more than ever a fundamental piece of the business strategies. So let's think about it. Let's be inspired by cases like TRIAC, by all the information and the tools and the resources they are offering us,
to go to the common place that is a better world. So thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you very much for the audience for being with us today, and hope to see you all soon in another World PAC Talk show. Thank you, Nathan.